What's going on, fight fans? Your boy Luis Cooper is here. We're going to talk about boxing. We're going to talk about this great fight weekend that we just had. The return of Manny Pacquiao. First off, I got to shout out Fight Hype. Because of Fight Hype, I was able to cover the fight from a media standpoint. So I was right there. I was in the arena. I was there. So I have a very good opinion and a valid point as to why I feel the way I feel. So everyone's crying. Everyone's saying that Manny Pacquiao should have won the fight. You know, that he got robbed, that the judges were this, that, and the third. You know, but realistically, in my opinion, the correct decision was made. The draw was the best possible decision that could have been made. And here is why. Everyone is basically going off the fact that Manny Pacquiao looked great. He didn't look like a 46-year-old, and he didn't. So shout out to Manny Pacquiao, to Team Pacquiao. They came prepared. They shocked everyone. They didn't look slow at all. Pacquiao looked a little vintage Pacquiao, definitely like a little 35, 38-year-old Pacquiao. But because he did so great, everyone's just giving him the fight. But me personally, I felt like the judges got it right. That the draw was a perfect decision. And why is because I felt that Manny Pacquiao did well, but he didn't do enough to win the belt. You know, when you're fighting a champion and you're trying to take the belt from the champion, you have to fully beat the champion. And I felt like he didn't. And then on the other side, Mario Barrios giving the champion, I felt like they couldn't give him the fight because he wasn't the clear winner. You know, so not only did he didn't clearly win the fight, and Pacquiao didn't do enough to take the belt. And here's my reason why. So the total here, I got the copy box right here. The total punches landed from both sides. Power punches. Pacquiao, 81. Barrios, 75. Even. Okay, jabs landed. Barrios, 45. Pacquiao, 20. Barrios. Out of the 12 rounds, four out of the 12 rounds were tied in punches, power punches landed. You got to remember, when you're judging a fight, don't think about the crowd and everything, because I was there. The crowd was insane. Anytime Pacquiao, he was breathing, the crowd was going bananas. He's still a draw. So out of the 4 out of the 12 rounds, it was tied in power punches landed. Another 4 out of the 12 rounds, the difference in power punches landed was 1 or 2 punches. And then the other 4 rounds, it was one landed more than 4, you know, clearly won the round. So, like I said, the fight was even. You know what I mean? The fight was even. Pacquiao did a lot. He threw a bunch of punches. He threw 259 power. Only landed 80. Landed 30%. Same as Barrios, landed 30%. The fight was even. It was clearly a draw, you know. Like, again, great fight. Don't get me wrong, it was a great fight. And a lot of it came from Pacquiao just being not old as hell. You know, he looked great. He did great. It was a fantastic fight. It was a fantastic fight. Like I said, the energy in the arena was bananas, you know. From the jump, I was like, oh, it's not going to sell out. I was there from the very start. I saw the very first fight. And I was like, oh, it's not going to sell out. But around the co-main event, Pitbull, and around Fundora fight, it got packed. And anytime they showed Pacquiao on that screen, it was screaming. The energy was truly electric. I ain't gonna lie. That was bananas to see. But again, Pacquiao put on a great fight. He did put on a hell of a performance. He showed us that he still can compete with the best, you know, but I still don't feel like he did enough to take the belt from a champion, you know. So that fight, the main event was great. I felt like it ended great. The entire card, top to bottom, was good. And like I said, the draw was the best possible scenario. If you would have gave the fight to Barrios, it would have been a big fight everywhere, you know. But if you would have gave Pacquiao the fight, it would have strictly just been because he's Pacquiao. And I mean, when you fighting a champion and you're going to get the belt from the champion, you have to really beat the champion. And if you only outlanded the champion by 5 punches in 12 rounds, that's not a clear win. You know, so I thought the judges got it right. The judges did it right, and they called it a draw. That was a great fight. Fundora, phenomenal performance. To me, it's clear as day that Fundora is the top guy at 154 pounds. That's what, 2 or 3 title defenses now. He already beat Tim Tszyu. This time, Tim Tszyu had a full camp for him, and he got knocked out. And I don't know. Fundora seems like he's just catching his groove, man. I feel once a champion becomes champion, and they keep fighting these championship fights, the experience only gets better and higher. And Fundora's clearly showing that he's a legitimate top guy at the division. He's using his distance better. He's fighting on the inside still. He's taking a hell of a shot. Tim Tszyu landed a bunch of hard shots, like same shots that Fundora got knocked out with before in his career. His only knockout to Brian Mendoza, he got hit with those same shots by Tim Tszyu, but Fundora was eating them and he was fighting back. Like, Fundora is a dog, and he looked crazy because he's nerdy. I mean, he came into a fight like using it. He had his little college shirt, and he was like, I'm going to school with his glasses and all that. So he don't look like a scary champion. But the truth is, he really is, man. He was from the jump. He dropped Tszyu in the first round. It took him 2 minutes to put Tszyu on the ground, and his confidence level right now is at an all-time high. Even though he takes a lot of shots, he got a solid chin. He got hit with some very hard, good shots last night, and he just took them. And he kept fighting. Came back and he knocked him out. And Tim Tszyu, you're gonna get a lot of criticism because it seemed like you quit. But in all honesty, Tim Tszyu, what did was right for him. It's kind of crazy because I felt like he won the round that he stopped in a stool for. Like, he was winning that round. But the truth is, Fundora was coming. He was gonna keep picking up the pace. His conditioning is phenomenal. His pace is phenomenal. The size. I see Fundora being a real hard guy to beat right now. I mean, he's 6'6", but eventually I just feel like, he could probably unify another title, but it's time for Fundora to jump up, man, because the guys at 154 pounds are clearly too little. At least the guys at 160 pounds, they'll be a little bigger, they'll hit harder. It'll make it more of an interesting fight, but at 154 pounds right now, I feel there's no one messing with Fundora, I mean, Xander got a big fight next weekend. Hopefully Xander can show us something, but I still feel like he's green, and for them to put him in there with Fundora right away, that's not gonna happen. And Top Rank is a hell of a promoter, so they're gonna take care of their champion, So I don't see Xander and Fundora fighting anytime soon. Realistically, Xander's gonna get that belt, get a couple of defenses, and then maybe in like a year or two, when Fundora's struggling more to make the weight, then maybe they'll fight. But right now, I think Fundora's a top dog, and no one really messing with him right now. Pitbull Cruz did what he had to do, last minute replacement. I still feel like Pitbull needs to move down in weight, though. I mean, he was hitting that guy last minute replacement, bro, everything. I mean, it was oohs and ahs. Boom, boom, boom. Bro, all night. And it was like, he buckled him a couple times, but like, come on, man, a real power puncher. Matias, Lopez is flatlining a guy like that. And ever since Pitbull moved up to 140, the power not there, So I feel like, although he's a very exciting fighter and there's a lot of exciting fights out there for him, physically it's not a good. I don't see him, becoming champion at 140. I feel like he had that good fight with Rolly, but I just don't see him beating any of the top guys at 140 right now. Exciting fights, yeah. Money fights, yeah. But realistic winning fights, I don't see it. I think he needs to move back down to 135 pounds and be more effective, be stronger, because those guys are walking through the shots. Even Fierro last fight, he was hitting them with everything, and he was walking through. And the most surprising fight on the card to me, I mean, obviously everything was the return of Gary Russell. Gary Russell hadn't fought in 3 years, and he looked phenomenal. The hand speed was still there. Mind you, Gary Russell weighed 131 pounds. 131 pounds. The guy he fought last night was 135 and a half. So he was easily a $150, 155 stepping into that ring, and it didn't matter. Russell put him down in round 2. The hand speed's still there. The power's still there. No ring rust. No physical injuries. he dominated that fight. And the fight that I would love to see next is I want to see Gary Russell and Lamont Roach fight at 130 pounds. Lamont Roach still has a belt at 130 pounds. And I feel like that's the fight to make because Gary Russell's a big name, former champion, and he can compete with any of those guys at 130 pounds. I mean, he told me, I interviewed him a couple times, and he told me that he was looking for the big fights, and that's why he was willing to fight at 135 pounds to get a tank.
Notice was just jumping up to 135. Is it just to get your feet wet, or do you see something in that division where you want to compete?
I've always seen something in that division where I wanted to compete. You know, I wanted to compete against like a Tank Davis and stuff like that. He moved up in weight. You know, he was somebody that I always wanted to compete against. He's at 135. So when I come back, you know, I ain't want to have to cut weight, none of that extra shit. So.
Or to get a Roach. But realistically, there's no reason why they can't make the fight Gary Russell and Lamont Roach at 130 pounds. Roach has the belt at 130 pounds. So I think that's the fight to make. Sooner rather than later. It looks like the Gervonta Roach fight is in shambles. So maybe they can make that fight happen. But overall, it was a great, fantastic weekend. Again, shout out to my boy Fight Hype. I was able to see boxing from a different standpoint this time. From the media. From just chilling, you know. And the good thing about that, man, is they was giving food. You know, I was eating the food at the weigh-ins, at the press, man. That shit was lit, you know, and you know, MGM Grand, they came correct. I mean, shit, every time I went into the media room, it was buffet, you know. I'm like, damn, shit, I want to do this, man. I want to do the media thing. I'm going to do the media thing. So that's the reason why I started this channel, man. So shout out to everybody that I saw, everybody at the media. They were all dope. My boy Sean Porter, everybody, literally everybody, everyone, Fight Hub, all those guys, everyone was being cool with me. They were giving me poners. They were doing it all. So overall, fight weekend, MGM Grand Las Vegas was phenomenal. Great event. Congratulations to PBC. Congratulations to Team Pacquiao. Congratulations to everybody. It was phenomenal, you know. So looking forward to the next one. And like I said, thanks to Fight Hype, Luis Cuba Arias TV. You know, I'm about to start showing y'all the real aspects of the fight game from a fighter who's fought all of them, didn't care. So, looking forward to it, and catch you on the next one.